side of it. Nobody,
Yeah.
nobody was harmed in the making of this audio.
No. Well, I don't know, except
You know, she might have had to put a little ice pack down there, but she good otherwise. Nope. You know, you play a hard game, you ice. Basketball players ice their knees, they ice their ankles, the elbows and stuff like that after, you know, up and down football players. Okay.
Hey, she might be in the Epsom salt right now. Hey,
You
she
know.
in the Epsom salt right now watching the show. Hey, Michelle. All right. Heal up, sweetie. Heal up.
Or your elbow hits the live button. I mean, we've all done it before.
On Instagram?
Very normal thing.
All the time.
On Instagram. Because
man.
if we actually go on Instagram and you use the app, first, here's what needs to happen. Your phone first has to be unlocked.
Gang, there's a phrase for this that we would use when I was in the Marines, and it was called the walk of shame. Basically, what it is that you hook up with something the night before, this case right here being a girl, you're in the barracks, and then all of a sudden, the next morning or somewhere in the night, she decides to leave, or maybe you decide to leave. Maybe you got to call a cab, maybe you got to call whatever. And that right there is typically the walk of shame because people obviously see it and people obviously know about it and people obviously know who this person was going in and who this person was leaving. Or in some cases, your buddies remember how drunk you were the night before. However, this situation to me seems a little bit special, so make sure you guys stick around for a bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Uncle Shay here, and I want to clear up any rumors that may be circulating about me. Now, first and foremost, I got to address the bull job that went down on my IG Live earlier today. You see, I want to remind you folks that it's 2024. This is the era of clickbait, the era of fake news, the era of AI. And I'm not talking Allen Iverson, artificial intelligence. You see, anybody can hack somebody's account and fabricate a situation to make it seem like they doing something that they shouldn't be. You see, I'm gonna tell you what my grandma told me. My grandma told me, Shannon, when you on your way to the top, they'll try to seduce you with some bottom. And I think that's what one of my haters tried to do today. They hacked my account, computer generated a whole scenario to make it seem like I'm the freakiest uncle since Luke from the 2 Live Crew. So I want to let you know, to all my business partners, Ocho, ESPN, Disney, I want to let you know that I greatly apologize for the inconvenience, but I also want to let it be known that even though the young lady in the video said, "It's yours, Shannon," she was not talking about me.
Shannon Sharpe impersonator right there. That was a pretty good job. I mean, I know that I'm kind of starting this off a little bit weirder than normal, but this is one of those stories I think that we should start the week out to just kind of like make people kind of relax and laugh a little bit, because trust me, the second video is going to probably make you get a little bit upset. But I want to go ahead and just kind of give you guys a bit of a cushion before we get to that. Still, though, at the same time, though, we need to discuss this. Now, after that little montage there, you're probably wondering why it is the lead story is not the second assassination attempt on former President Trump. Don't worry, I will be getting to that tomorrow, because I want to let some more information build up, because obviously when something like this right here happens, a lot of information is flying all over the place. And of course, then the last time there was a lot of information that was flying all over the place. This time, of course, they didn't connect with him at all or anything, but we'll be talking more about that in the second video. Just know that he is safe, he's secure, all that type of stuff there. And he even posted this right to Twitter afterwards. But of course, we're talking about Shay Shay, or Uncle Shay. And of course, a lot of people have had a lot of takes on this Instagram live video that Shannon Sharpe has had to somewhat apologize for, yet at the same time not apologize for. But we really and truly have no idea what to make of it, especially going forward, because do we want this kind of degeneracy posted on our social media? And to go on top of that, should there be any form of ramifications for this? So make sure you guys stick around for the full bit. So what happened? So Shannon Sharpe, as you guys know, he now works for ESPN. He can do the woke thing as much as anybody else. But once again, though, like Stephen A. Smith, I personally believe he's just another talking head out there. But still, at the same time, though, obviously he had a little event that occurred this past week. And of course, it was a video that was posted to Instagram Live, which, by the way, he claims he accidentally hit the button to make it live, didn't realize what he was doing. And apparently Shay Shay was getting it on with another girl, which is a good thing for him, because people were beginning to wonder if he was gay, because as you guys may or may not know, if you are a man and you reach a certain age, and of course, if that age is north of 35 and you're not married or you have not been married yet, people will start to question your sexuality. I don't know why the hell they do that, but then again, though, people do, in fact, do that. Okay, I am right at 40 years old. I'm not married. And of course, the people closest to me know that I have been in several relationships. They've not been perfect. They haven't worked out. I admit my faults. But still, at the same time, though, people are going to start asking, well, man, why the hell are you not married? Why haven't you put a ring on a girl's finger yet? I don't know if you guys know this or not, but you got the internet out there, and these girls say some extremely wild things. And for whatever reason, when a girl gets to a certain age, actually, when they get a little bit older, for some odd reason, those issues begin to come out. It's a very complicated thing to have a conversation about. But of course, people have been accusing Shannon Sharpe of being gay. Now, me personally, I've never really truly bought into that. But still, though, there are people out there with all kinds of wild takes on this situation. Let me go ahead and roll some of it.
He was living his private life, and it was a mistake. And if you know anything about Shannon, trust me and believe it was a mistake, because not only is he incredibly private, he's incredibly clueless when it comes to using social media. He has a team that does that for him. That's not what Shannon Sharpe does. Shannon Sharpe will tell you what he wants tweeted. He will tell you what he wants posted on IG. He will tell you what he wants on Facebook or something like that. But he damn sure ain't doing it himself. That's not what he does. He's not technologically astute in that way. A lot of people aren't. He's one of those people, okay? I know his team. I know him personally. I've seen him all the time, because when he shows up to First Take, they are with him. When he goes anywhere, they are with him. There's a cadre of people that show up with him. When he shows up to games and stuff like that, they are with him.
Okay, now look, you're going to hear me dilly-dally around this for a little bit, kind of going off on what could have been accidental, it could have been planned, it could have been all that type of stuff. But of course, you guys will get my full conclusion at the very end of what I personally think happened, or what was more than likely to have occurred. The fact of the matter of this case is that, what is ESPN going to say? Now, with that there, I don't really expect a whole lot at this moment in time. But still, though, you never know, a should could in fact drop. But we'll get to that more at the end of the video. Now, guys, that take right there was from Stephen A. Smith, who basically tried to say, look, Shannon's not really in charge of his Instagram team. And of course, Shannon even tried to say that he was hacked. But then, of course, he would give a statement that we'll get to here in a second. But still, at the same time, a lot of this just doesn't sound believable. And I think that this is one of those cases where you could just simply, tell the freaking truth and just go ahead and be real and say exactly what happened. Look, this right here occurred. And, I think that you could get away with that and say that obviously this right here did in fact happen. It was an accident. But still, though, there are a lot of questions with this situation. Shannon Sharpe not knowing much about technology, as you guys will see here in a second, is a bit of a stretch, especially when we get to Patrick Bet-David, because he actually went through the process of going on Instagram Live. Now, guys, really quick, I've never done an Instagram Live before, never been on Instagram Live or anything like that, nor have ever desired to do so. Maybe Shannon Sharpe's phone is a Samsung. Maybe it's got different settings. Maybe he's got an LG. Maybe he's got a Pixel. I don't know. I have an Apple. Maybe, people have different phones. Maybe there's different ways of going about it. Maybe the app has got different settings per actual phone itself. But still, at the same time, though, this really just seems more and more like a situation where Shannon should just, just kind of spit it out and just tell the freaking truth. Speaking of Shannon Sharpe and his statement, let's go ahead and get to some of this.
I still try to remain a level of professional, although I'm in the privacy of my own home. And I'm very disappointed in myself, not for the act. I think there are millions and billions of people of consenting age that engage in activities, but to have your most intimate detail on the audio to be heard, I'm disappointed in myself. I let them call them. I called my sister, my friends. Obviously, my friends reached out, but guys, this was not staged. Came in, I threw my phone. Staged. Came in, I threw my phone on the bed, gazed at an activity. I did not know IG Live. I've never been on IG Live. I've never turned IG Live on. So I don't know. I say ask for patience. He said they can hear. And now I'm starting to get agitated again because you called me and say I'm on IG Live when I know I didn't click myself on IG Live. And he said they can hear me. I said, hear me doing what? said, it sounds like you were having sex. Man, my heart sank. It dropped. I run my accounts, but Jordan being the good Samaritan, the good soldier that he is, Jordan the one that cut it off. Because hell, I didn't even know it was on that. And so all of a sudden, my other phone is going off, and people are calling me FaceTime that I've never talked to a day in my life on FaceTime. And it didn't, I'm like, why are y'all calling me FaceTime? And after a while, Jamie, and he says, Shannon, you on IG Live. I'm like, doing what? You know, I'm like, what am I on IG Live for? I ain't hit no IG Live button. He says, on IG Live for? I ain't hit no IG Live button. He says, they can hear. I'm like,
there is something I do want to say though. All right. And it's interesting to me how it is that the person he claims he's talking to just doesn't come outright and ask him, dude, were you and some girl having sex or something like that? It just seems to me like the language is a little bit too coded for me. Look, you're going to hear me say it over and over again. I've probably already said it before, that this right here could have very, very well just been a freak occurrence, an accident that did in fact happen. But still at the same time, though, it does leave open the possibility that maybe this right here was fully planned and Shannon probably knew he could get away with it. But of course, you guys know me, I always leave that there open for interpretation at the end of the video, but let's continue. Now, gang, I can't play the video for you, or at least more than like 10 seconds of the video, or else I will get removed from this platform. But I think Patrick Bet David did it the right way, but he also has some very interesting points. I'm going to play this 54-second segment, come back on the other end, and we'll get back to him a little bit later on to kind of see what exactly really truly happened here. Let me go ahead and roll this before we go on further.
Okay, Mr. Club Shay Shay. First play, guys, if your kids are watching, I'm just telling you right now, you may want to give them a break and earmuffs for the next, I'll give you 5 seconds.
Go ahead.
What I'm about to play is Shannon Sharpe's Instagram Live. It's sitting on the bed and it's under looking at the ceiling, but on the background there's background noise. It's kind of like the one from the movie Rain Man when Raymond realizes his brother is getting it on in the other room. Raymond, and he says, Is Raymond here? Yes.
Or Charlie Brown.
Okay, so we've given enough of a warning. Go ahead and play this. Go ahead, Rob. Okay, you can pause. That's enough. You get the idea. All right, so now, by the way,
and that's all we need.
Rob, do me a favor. Play.
Definitely one of those cases where it's like a walk of shame situation. But still, though, there are people out there like, say, Stephen A. Smith, who were saying that, you know, Shannon Sharpe didn't have control of his Instagram Live. And, I mean, look, the initial response to this was to say that he got hacked. But I'm kind of like, dude, just go ahead and freaking own it. I mean, you got to go through the apology and all that type of stuff there. Just go ahead and own it. Maybe there's something going on here. I mean, you're going to hear me say it again, that people have been thinking that Shannon Sharpe was gay for a long time. I personally don't believe that he is, but still, though, at the same time, I mean, dude, I'm having a hard time seeing that where he lied about it, but I'm also having a hard time seeing where it was that he's not lying about this, but still, though, very weird how this came about. Or at least the response and the way he's going on about it, but let's continue.
To have one of your most intimate details, the audio heard for the entire world to hear. I'm embarrassed for a number of reasons. People count on Shannon.
Rob, go to Ocho. I mean, I get what he's doing. And I want to see what
the phone call.
You try to make light of it. Nobody was harmed in the making of this audio,
except for the girl.
No animals were harmed.
Oh, no, except
Yeah, exactly. He's about to say, except for.
You know, she might have had to put a little ice pack down there, but she good otherwise.
He's going for it.
You know, you play a hard game, you ice. Basketball players ice their knees, they ice their ankles, the elbows and stuff like that. Up and down football players.
What does he say?
Okay.
What does he say?
Hey, she might be in the Epsom salt right now. Hey, she's in the Epsom salt right now watching the show. Hey, Michelle. All right. Heal up, sweetie. Heal up.
He put her name out there?
At least it's not.
Yes, here's another one. This is unbelievable.
Because I sent you one, Rob, where he says Cat Williams calls him.
I was upset, but then I also remembered that you're not very good, or you're not very technically savvy with phones and computer equipment, all that stuff. So I gave you a little grace, but I was still a little upset. I was a little hurt. But the fact that it was a Michelle and not a Michael, God, that's my dog.
Jesus.
So I let that particular clip play a lot longer than normal. I think it was like a 40-second clip put with like a 50-second clip put with like a 30-second clip. I put that together like that because obviously he would eventually have Chad Ochocinco on. And of course, they would have a conversation about this. And of course, the conversation would just get wilder and wilder and wilder. There are bits and pieces here where Shannon, after apologizing, acknowledging his failure here, acknowledging his unprofessionalism here, he would also then turn right back around and talk about how it was that the girl needed some ice and stuff like that there, which I find a little bit distasteful given the fact that, and I understand we're trying to have fun and whatnot with this, but still at the same time trying to make light of the situation. I find it to be a little bit distasteful for somebody to say that it was a good old-fashioned screw-up, which then again at the same time brings out the more conspiratorial aspects of this. But then again, though, I may have mentioned this before, that some phones, some settings don't just, you don't just stumble upon them on your phone for Instagram Live. But then again, though, I can tell you guys, being somebody who owns an Apple phone, who has mostly Apple products, that there have been times when my computer or my MacBook Air over there will go off and all of a sudden I'll hear Siri talking for whatever reason. I have no idea why that is the case. The same thing has happened to my iPad, which I have over here to my left, which you guys never see in the videos. But it has happened before where just random things happen and the phone is just recording. You barely touched it and boom, next thing you know, it goes off. Maybe Shannon's got a certain setting in his phone that allowed this error to occur. But still, though, at the same time, though, it does leave some stuff to be desired. And what I mean by stuff to be desired is people believing that Shannon is full of crap here. But let's get to PBD because they did a nice little segment on this. And, of course, I think that PBD made some pretty good points about this. Of course, this where being the walk of shame. Okay, now, guys, that segment right there was roughly 1 minute and 43 seconds. And you guys obviously hear the PBD podcast laughing in the background with what's going on there and some of the stuff that Shannon is saying. Look, if you're trying to have a certain type of, if you're trying to set a certain type of narrative to defend yourself, and of course we're talking about doing a, let's just say getting freaky on Instagram Live, then you probably, if you're trying to be apologetic about it, you probably wouldn't want to joke or make too much light about it. Or maybe if you made light about it, you would just want to just move on to the next subject. Shannon went on for this for about 20 or 30 minutes. It was done mostly in 2-minute segments like Patrick Bet David said. And of course, you can find them all over X. You can find them all over Twitter. I don't know if the podcast episode itself has got everything in succession, but still, the point is this right here. They made light of it for a pretty good while, and I don't think I've heard anything about it on ESPN First Take, which, of course, it may have been a decision by the heads at ESPN to, I don't know, maybe give Shannon a bit of a break and keep him off camera for a while. And, of course, you've also got people out there who only watch First Take and then they don't get on YouTube or listen to the podcast, and some people do. So, of course, there's a mixture of people who know and a mixture of people who don't know. But still, though, given the language there, talking about icing up, look, I get it. You want to make light of the situation, but the more and more and more that you make light of the situation, the less likely it is that people are going to believe that this right here happened by accident. What I'm trying to say is, and especially when you get this next part, you may come away thinking that Shannon may have actually done this, planned this, and of course it actually happened. And of course he did it because he thought he was going to get away with it, but we'll discuss that on the other end.
Is your phone closed with, what do you call it, with password protected? How often?
All the time.
All the time.
Okay, but let's just say he's picking the music. I didn't hear any music playing in the background.
No music.
Okay, all right, so there's no music. So here's a step process let's go through.
Okay.
To accidentally press live.
IG
You ready?
Live. Okay.
Tom, I want you to see this here, Tom. Okay? All right, first, I got to go up. Then I got to go lower. Okay? Then after I look, I have to find my Instagram app, and it has to press perfectly on Instagram.
Yes.
Then I go on Instagram app. Then I have to swipe left.
Yeah.
Okay? Look how perfect they have to be.
Okay, left.
Then here I have to press live. Then when I press live, I have to press live.
And then it asks you, are you sure? Like,
you
you're
sure
ready to go live,
right? So if it's like a 7-step, come on, bro.
Like I said, I really don't know what kind of phone Shannon Sharpe has got there. You could have a Samsung, you could have an LG, you could have an off-brand that we haven't heard of. But still, though, at the same time, though, you know, you guys obviously saw what PBD had. It looked like an Apple. I'm having a hard time thinking to myself that he just did not go through the process. But still, given where it's placed out, it's very, very possible. But then again, though, given Shannon's story, the initial part of it, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. It could have very, very well been planned. Either way, though, like I said before, we should not be having this kind of outright degeneracy out there representing people that, quite frankly, young men should be looking up to. Yeah, that probably came out wrong. But still, at the same time, though, the point is this right here. A lot of people are asking a lot of questions. And, of course, Shannon Sharpe being as woke as he is, I figure at some point in time, either A, he would embrace the rumors that maybe he's gay, or potentially he would, let's just say him denying it. Of course, if that right there is what he really and truly is, which I personally don't think he is, it's very possible at this point in time that he could possibly still be a little bit ashamed by it. But like I said before, I personally don't believe he's gay. I think what happened here was a freak incident. Maybe I'm a little bit naive, but that right there is what I think happened in this case, is that he got home. He wasn't thinking about what he was doing, put the phone down. Girl was already there, and he decided to go ahead and get it on. They've been getting it on for a while, and maybe he hit it. But then again, at the same time, though, not all of the video had been released, only a certain small segment of it, which also maybe lends credence to Patrick Bet-David and what he said, which, of course, is, I don't know, that he went through the entire process. And, of course, only there's bits and pieces of it there. So, therefore, maybe it might have been edited. And that right there is what the hell was leaked and put out there. And something else, too, to go on top of this, I don't see how in the world it is that somebody would just not come right on out and say, yeah, dude, I can hear you screwing this girl on the phone. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff here that does, in fact, seem suspect. But that right there does lead me to this last conclusion. So what should happen to Shannon Sharpe now? Well, I haven't really seen him on First Take, but then again, I haven't really been paying attention to it. I haven't heard anything in the news. Nothing's really came out about this. If it were me, the heads of ESPN should probably suspend him for a little while at the very, very minimum. I understand it was something that he did off work hours, but still at the same time, though, now that we live in a world that's pretty much online, and you're pretty much living in a glass house if you're a celebrity, or even if you're a YouTuber, yeah, you probably should not have the position that you have, at least at this moment in time. But the fact of the matter is, he's probably not going to get punished for this. But that right there is, of course, on the people who follow him or the people who actually listen to him. I'm not saying you should boycott, not saying that at all. I'm saying that Shannon Sharpe here simply is doing the walk of shame. It's also very, very possible that he may have scripted this, and of course, it has not gone the way that it's gone. And now, of course, he's a bit of a hole. But we shall see what eventually happens going forward because, yeah, this right here is a situation that could, in fact, result in a termination if ESPN gets enough phone calls. That right there being said, though, you guys tell me what you think in the comment section. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Please share the video. Sound off. I'll see you guys later.